Conway, New Hampshire may be the Mount Washington Valley's largest town, but it's the village of North Conway, just 6 miles away and nestled deeper in the mountains, that's always seemed to have a deeper draw, too. With its outlet malls and prime leaf-peeping vantage points, the year-round population of just over 2,000 here swells a bit daily, especially at this time of year. But long before the shopping and the tour buses, the physical landscape itself here drew people from all over, and today it continues to make North Conway one of New England's most legendary outdoor recreation playgrounds. It's a region that embraces outdoor pursuits with passion in all seasons, with the geography to go with it.
It's an iconic cliff, roughly 700 feet tall at its highest point. There's not too many other spots in the state or in New England that I'm aware of that can really match this kind of view.
North Conway's legendary Cathedral Ledge has been drawing rock climbers for over a century. As an avid climber himself, Eric Nelson, Central Region Supervisor for New Hampshire State Parks, well understands the enduring appeal here.
The rock is excellent. It's a granite. It has lots of natural features that makes it reasonable to climb at a whole range of levels. And it's got a rich history of climbing from back in the 20s up through now.
But no other outdoor adventure here has as rich a history as skiing. The famed ski trains of the 40s delivered skiers to the same historic depot that sits in the center of North Conway today. Longtime storied valley ski areas such as Mount Cranmore, Attitash, and Wildcat still operate. But ironically, it's New Hampshire's oldest ski hill, Black Mountain in Jackson, that has the newest chapter in a colorful history that dates back to 1935.
As Black Mountain goes into its 90th season, just kind of think about how many generations that is of skiing. It's hard to replicate something like that.
And often impossible. In the fall of 2023, mounting money woes and personnel challenges forced the small but beloved ski area to call it quits. But then, the season was suddenly saved by the Colorado-based tech company Entebeni Systems, also owner of IndyPass, which partners with many independent American ski areas to provide lower-cost ski passes. For Entebeni Systems founder Eric Mogensen, who began skiing in the East at a similarly small local hill, something felt personal and wrong about historic Black Mountain fading to black.
I saw the post on social media that they were going to close. The Mount Washington Valley, Jackson is an incredible town with a lot of depth and history and passionate people. And so Black definitely shouldn't have closed. And that's what I thought.
An infusion of corporate resources allowed the 2023-24 season to go on, but a longer-term plan was needed. On October 5th, it was unveiled. At a packed community meeting at the mountain, Mogensen, joined by now former longtime owner John Fischera, announced a plan as unusual as it is audacious for Black Mountain to ultimately be community-owned and run as a cooperative, with supporters buying shares of ownership.
I think that a lot of people thought that we were going to come in and buy the ski area as out-of-towners, and I don't think anyone expected the co-op piece to be announced.
Indeed, the plan would make Black Mountain, along with Vermont's Mad River Glen, only the second cooperatively owned ski area in America.
We wanted to make this an inclusive mountain and thought the best way to do that was to have the people that actually are in that community and that care the most about it actually own it.
But for Mogensen and others concerned with how exclusive the ski industry has become, keeping one small ski area alive is only part of the problem. Problem being that skiing has simply become way too expensive for way too many people.
Correct. Skiing has become a bit of a luxury good. So it's not just about Black Mountain. Black Mountain's a piece in a bigger national movement to keep skiing accessible and affordable.
In the Jackson community itself, a sense of relief and guarded optimism.
I think it's great that they're selling season passes at reasonable price, and it's a chance to have ownership. I think that's a great way to have a community ski area.
I'll be real surprised to see if that works. I hope it does, but I'll be real surprised.
And at the mountain, as longtime employees like Joe Russo prepare for a season of change a sense of determination.
Very positive. It's a classic New England ski area, and it just cannot go away. No matter what, it cannot go away.
Alas, many others have. And in this battle between big money and a small mom and pop, time will tell.
Black is like your local diner, like your local hardware store. If people value an experience like this, they need to support it, because that's the only way it's going to survive.
And a year after buying the business, Mogensen's group last month finalized the purchase of all 3 parcels of land that Black Mountain sits on. Now they're working on the steps needed to allow for the sale of shares to the general public, paving the way for that community ownership model he talked about. And since closing for the season in early May, we're told efforts have been nonstop to make improvements at the mountain.